Hi, everyone. I am Connie Zabo-Schmucker, Advocacy Director at Bicycle Garage Indy, and I am joined by Jeff Smallwood and Dave Jackson from the B&O Trail, and they're going to talk about some updates for the B&O Trail, what's coming up with that, as well as the B&O Bicycle Tour that's coming up on June 10th. So I will go ahead and turn this over to both of them.
Thank you, Connie. Thanks for giving us the opportunity to talk about the B&O Trail and the B&O bike ride. The map I have up on the screen is an overview of our next level trail project. Just to give you some orientation where you are, you can see Brownsburg is right here in the kind of the middle, upper middle part of the map. If you look to the right of the map, there's Raceway Road, where I'm running my cursor, and that's the county line between Marion and Hendricks counties, with, of course, Speedway and Indianapolis to the east part of the map, and then it continues west through Hendricks County as you go west of Brownsburg, through a little community called Maplewood. And then here at the far west edge of the map, you might see State Road 39. If you're at all familiar with that, it goes from Danville up through a small town called Liston, and then continues to Lebanon. So that kind of gives you some orientation of where we're looking at here. The solid red line starting at the east here at Raceway Road continues for 6.2 miles across the south edge of Brownsburg and ending at County Road 500E. That's the portion of the B&O Trail that's been open for a few years and is a paved trail. It crosses Green Street in Brownsburg and crosses, there's a nice bridge over the White Lick Creek, which is a beautiful spot on the trail. We have parking at right on Green Street. And then there's also some parking at some of the parks in the town of Brownsburg. At Cardinal Park, there's one, kind of moving my cursor here is kind of near Hornaday Road. And then farther east, a park is being developed currently that's called Virgil Park, named after Diana Virgil, who started the B&O Trail Association many years ago. And there will be parking there as well. So the scope of our next level trail grant is to the west to extend it another a little over 2 miles. You can see the dashed red line to County Road 250E. And then there's going to be a gap in the trail because there are some parcels of land that we don't have title to, and we've not been able to convince the owners there to sell it to us. So we will simply put signage along the county roads and people will have to ride along those roads. And then we will put a parking lot here on the east side of Maplewood along County Road 500N. And then from there, we will go about another 1.5 miles to almost 2 miles out to County Road 50W. The brown dash line that you see along the side here is an equestrian trail that we are doing. To the east, the Next Level Trail project will take us from the county line at Raceway Road, continue east a little over 2 miles, where we will connect with the Speedway Trails. Speedway Trails Association also received a Next Level Trail grant, and they are developing the trail all the way from Michigan Street near downtown Indianapolis out to where they will meet ours, which is west of Interstate 465, but east of Girls School Road. They've already completed their trail from High School Road going east all the way to Michigan Street, and the city is building bike lanes along Michigan Street so that it will connect then to the White River Trail, and you can continue on down to the Cultural Trail and the Monon Trail and do all kinds of connections once you get downtown. So that once all of this is completed, one will be able to ride from almost the middle of Hendricks County all the way to downtown Indianapolis and go to your favorite restaurant, go to a ball game, do whatever, go to work, whatever. So it'll be a wonderful commuter trail and as well as a recreational trail. So just to kind of get started with this, what we've first started working on as far as construction is this section right here, this 2.1 mile section from 500E to 250E in Hendricks County. We started work over the winter back in 2021. We hired a local tree service company to basically clear the trees out of the middle of the corridor. And this is actually the owner of that company posing in the snow. I thought it was kind of a cool photograph. And then also during the winter, just as we were getting ready to start construction, we had this fence up here to keep people off the trail, just indicating that it's closed for trail construction. But you can see it's pretty well cleared. It's ready for work to begin. So then the fall of 2022, after we had used our Next Level Trail funds and developed a contract with Beatty Construction, they began work in earnest on the trail. And as you can see here, the top left photograph, they've just kind of graded things out, compacted it down, and they've got riprap along the sides. This is one of my cycling buddies here, just kind of looking at what's going on. Then next photo over here to the top right, they've started putting down the base of gravel and rolling it out. Bottom left, you can see they've started doing some paving on one of the sections. You got the roller over here. And then here it is, just almost finished. And out near the west end of it, we've got a spot where there's a dip in the trail, which is actually kind of cool. It gives it some character. When the dip's been there for years because it's where a culvert was kind of washed out and never completely replaced up to grade. But we wanted them to keep it that way because we found it kind of interesting to give the trail some character. So they just left that in the design of the trail. Moving on then a little more recently then, almost finished with the 2 miles. And as you can see, the concrete node is in place here. I'm looking at the upper left photo. There's a memorial bench. We've got one of those at each major road crossing. We have a bench there where people can rest, and there are memorial benches they will be designated in memory of someone. And that was a way for us to actually raise a little bit of money for the project as well. And then here you can see kind of almost the same location on the trail. Way in the distance, you see a couple of bicyclists out there. And then down in the lower left, you can see some of the signage we've got out there. We've got a sign indicating no motor vehicles on the trail, as well as markings for which roads you're crossing. And again, this is another memorial bench over there in the background. And here we have this photo on the lower right was actually taken just this morning of somebody resting, a cyclist resting on one of those brand new benches out there. And so we're just about finished. In fact, Friday, we're going to do the walkthrough with the contractor to just make sure everything looks okay, see if there are any things that need to be corrected. And then essentially at that point, the trail will be open. In fact, I should mention that we're having a ribbon cutting ceremony on June the 16th at 10 a.m. in Hendricks County, starting at that 500E trailhead. So I don't have that here on the slides, but I'll just mention that verbally. So the B&O Bicycle Tours are a bike tour we've been doing for several years. It's the major fundraiser we have for the trail. And it promotes interest in the trail as well as raising money. And it helps provide us with maintenance funds as well as contributes to our local matching funds whenever we are able to get grants. So that's going to be taking place on June the 10th. It's at Williams Park in Brownsburg, as it has been most of the time for several years. We have 5 different routes this year. We have a 12 and a 16. Those routes are primarily for beginners or people with young kids who want to ride. And they're totally flat. They're on either just city streets or on the trail, mostly on the trail. And then there's a 24, a 45, and 64 mile routes that go out into the country a bit more. We will be having pre-ride mechanical assistance provided by BGI. Thank you, BGI. All routes will ride on a portion of the new trail. So they head out of town from Brownsburg, and depending on what distance you're going, the 12 and 16 basically just turn around at different points on the trail and then go back the same way they came out. The longest route goes through Roachdale, and the significance of going through Roachdale, it's a community in Putnam County, but it was the next stop on the B&O Railroad west of North Salem. So it has some historical interest to it as well. And they have a nice town park there with a shelter house and restrooms. So that's where we have one of our SAG stops. And I mentioned we have 5 different SAG stops along the routes. So there are many places you can stop and get water, Gatorade, refreshments, use the restroom, just enjoy some live music that we will have at the largest stop, which is in Maplewood. We will also have some roving mechanical assistance at Maplewood. If anyone's having a problem with their bike or just has a question, they can ask for some assistance there. We have multiple SAG vehicles circulating the route to help people out if they either have a breakdown of their bike or they just are getting overheated and just need a ride back to the staging area. They're not really mechanics per se. They're not really there to fix your bike. They're really just there that if you're just either broken down or need a ride back for whatever reason, they're out there to help with that. At the end of the ride, we have a barbecue lunch with live music at the park. So you can register at our website, botrail.org, right up until midnight on June the 9th. That's the Friday before the ride. And then we'll be having same-day registration available on site, and you can use either credit cards or checks or cash for that. And we look forward to having a nice big crowd. And then this is just a few pictures from past events. Got the folks starting out the ride here. Some guys enjoying the countryside, nice country road in Hendricks County. You got some folks over here on the lower left riding on the trail. Looks like they had rained earlier that morning. We don't promote that. We don't usually get rain. And then here are some kids here in the lower right picture enjoying the trail as they ride by. Disclaimer, these just happen to be my grandkids in the photo. But that's been a couple years ago. These are now 15-year-old girls who are in high school. So anyway, oops, that's the end of that. So that's all the formal presentation I have. Dave, did you want to add anything?
No, I think you've covered it real well. I thought, if Connie had any questions around other ways to connect with the B&O Trail besides with the bike ride. I know you mentioned Facebook at our website. We were talking earlier, so I can really kind of cover some of those topics a little bit if we want to go into that.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
Okay, so let me figure out. I can share. You have to stop sharing your screen,
Yep,
Jeff.
okay. Yep, stop sharing.
And then I will try this. If it's going to let me. Let's see here. Figure out where my hang on here. Oh, there we go. Share my screen. Okay. And hopefully bringing up my browser, and I've got the our Facebook page. It's B&O Trail Association on Facebook. We've got about, I think, 4,000 followers. We're starting to use Instagram a little bit. That number's a little bit lower, but we're certainly trying to use social media to reach out to our trail users. And in fact, really, Facebook and Messenger is a really good way that folks get a hold of us when there's a tree down or some maintenance concerns and issues on the trail. But we're certainly sharing information about our upcoming events, progress on the trail, with construction, and just general news and everything. So we try to keep things interesting with our Facebook posts and Instagram posts and all. So we've certainly been tracking the progress on our construction project through the last 6 months. But then also just sharing general news about the Next Level Trails program, things that are going on in Speedway, and other events too that perhaps use the trail, or our groups that have been kind of partnering with us. We're oftentimes sharing some of their programming as well, just to help with cross promoting some of those events. So that's really our Facebook and social media presence. If I go to our website, I think I've got that open here. Yeah. So botrail.org is our web address. And from there, you've got sort of links to the different social media platforms. But you've got a register link here, which is a quick way you get in and register for the bike ride. A donation link, other kinds of news, and other information about sponsors and partner organizations, and even our latest print newsletter. That we still do a print newsletter on occasion, and make that available here on the website, and then even photos from some of our past as well.
Dave, you're breaking up a little bit for some reason. Your audio is.
Okay.
Sure.
I can switch over to
Well, you seem fine now. You seem fine.
Oh, really? Okay. Maybe I kind of shifted around in my seat, so no telling. I've got using my Bluetooth earbuds, so maybe there was a problem with that. So really, and this is our main presence really online and everything. The way we take donations and register for our different events. Our events calendar is here, and I'm going to pull this up just to go. We've obviously our premier event that we've talked about is the bike tour on June 10th, but we've got our ribbon cutting scheduled for June 16th. There is a 5K on the west side of Indianapolis with a partner group that's putting on in August, the Indy Gateway group. And then we've got a smaller bike ride that we do on Labor Day as part of the North Salem Old Fashioned Days. And then we also have a 4-mile event that we do in late September that we do on the trail. And that's going to be the second year that we're running this event called Blaze the B&O. So that's just a lot of the good information that you can find on our website about some of the different events that are coming up, either helping us raise funds or actually taking place on the trail. Connie, you have any questions or other things we ought to talk about?
So for the bike ride that's coming up, what is the fee for that?
Yep. Pre-registration fee is $40 for adults 19 and over. For, I would call it, say, teenagers from 13 to 18. What is it, 35, Dave?
Yeah, 35 for the
And then
12 to 19.
Yeah, and then 12 and under are free and still get a lunch. So we try to do that to make it easy on families, parents who've got like young kids. They don't get hit by an expensive registration fee for young kids. It may just be trailering or just riding a real, small bike. So we try to make it a family-friendly event. And then on same day registration, the adult fee goes up to $50. So, but you can register, like we said, you're right up until the midnight the night before the ride on our website for the $40 fee. So really most people can get in for that fee. Plus there's an optional extra t-shirt that you can purchase when you register online, either a short sleeve or a long sleeve. And I think the short sleeves are $15 and the long sleeves are $20. And we also have youth sizes available. But to be guaranteed a t-shirt when you register, you have to register by this coming Saturday, right, Dave? The end of this Saturday?
Yes, this by the end of the day, Saturday, this weekend.
Yeah, so a week. So because obviously we have to have time to get our orders in with our t-shirt vendor and that kind of thing. But we do order some extras to sell some same day, but we don't order a great number of extras. So to be sure and get one, you need to register by this weekend.
And how many people have you had in the past come to the event? Like how big of an event?
We typically run in the 700 and 800 range. The most we've ever had was 975. So it's been, say, anywhere from like 700 to 975 is kind of our ballpark range.
Okay, great.
So it's a good sized group.
Yeah.
And we used to do a mass start when with COVID. One of the things we did to try to keep having a large number of people assembled at one time was to do I call it an ad lib start. There may be other names for it, where people just check in and they go whenever they want. And we did a survey monkey survey after that ride, and one of the questions had to do with the mass start versus the staggered start or ad lib start, and people overwhelmingly preferred the ad lib start. So we have just stuck with that even after COVID. So people can check in anytime from 7:30 to 9. And then as soon as they get checked in and are ready to go, they can take off at their own convenience. And the sag stops will be out there ready to go for them.
And I guess I would add too, on the registration page and even on our website of the article about the event, we do have links for each of the routes. So if that's, is it Ride with Map My GPS?
Yes, Ride with GPS. So they can
Ride
download this to their Garmin if they want.
Yeah. So if somebody wants to, have that on their, their Garmin or, and map it ahead of time, those are available. Now they're subject to change. We're keeping these updated. We've had to make a few adjustments, but these links should get you the very latest route that's planned for each of those different lanes.
Great. Yeah, I know a lot of people that I know use either Ride with GPS or download into their Garmin devices. So that's become I'm old school and I like printed maps and I like seeing a map. But
We
Um,
will have those. We have those too. So,
Yeah, so, but, you know, everybody's different and everybody
yeah.
has different things that they like to do. Yeah, so that sounds great. I'm trying to think if I have any other questions. Both of you did a great job of covering a lot of things. It's really exciting, I think, to see the B&O and how it's getting expanded. Last year, you know, after hearing about the B&O for so many years, I actually did a ride spot ride. And on the B&O, we have had the B&O 6 miles as a ride spot route that we
Uh-huh.
feature at our ride centers in our stores. Um, but I had never ridden it. I'd seen all sorts of pictures, but I hadn't ever gone to it. So last year, I rode the B&O, the 6 miles that were done at the time.
Yeah.
It was really nice. I really liked it was a time when there was flowers out and there were, you know, the mural underneath Ronald Reagan Parkway was really nice. And the bridge was, you know, it's a really pretty
Oh, yeah.
area.
Yeah, the bridge is really picturesque.
Yeah.
And speaking of murals, the town of Brownsburg has a tunnel, a trail tunnel that goes under County Road 300N, and they have had an artist do murals in there. And going farther east as we get into Marion County, when it goes under Girls School Road through a tunnel, there have also been murals done there as well. So that's becoming a nice feature along the trail, all these murals that are being done in the various tunnels.
Yeah,
And
I
so
think,
we're really excited about next year. The construction will start in early. Our goal is to let bids by the end of this year so that construction can start in the spring of 2024 for completing that Marion County section all the way into Speedway. And so we're really excited for that time that we will be able to do that. In fact, I'm already thinking ahead a little bit. I would like to organize some kind of group bike ride that will start in Brownsburg and ride all the way downtown and then, you know, turn around and come back. Just so people can, just to show off the trail and, you know, get people thinking about that.
yeah, I
And just
think,
a
yeah, that'd
celebration.
be great. Yeah, it's a celebration. You know, it's a long time coming. I know that
Yeah.
there have been people who have wanted some kind of safe commute into downtown from the west side, and this,
Oh, yeah.
and also, you know, there's Bike to the 500, which just happened, but it'll be a great way to get to the 500 race as well, to connect with the Speedway trails that also
Yeah.
is right up by the Speedway. So yeah, so lots of connections once it all gets built, and hopefully people will go out and explore. If you don't make the bicycle tour, hopefully you can explore the B&O Trail sometime this summer as well.
Yep. And you mentioned like connections and all, like even the Ronald Reagan Parkway, the tunnel, but even along Ronald Reagan Parkway, there are trails. Sometimes on one side, sometimes on both sides of that, really connecting Brownsburg, Avon, and Plainfield. So if you're in those communities, you've got the ability, you know, and good access to come up, get on the B&O right there at Ronald Reagan Parkway. And there are a couple of other areas where there are connections with other trail systems and others that are planned in the future too. And especially once we get into Marion County, those connections are going to grow. Even in the town of Speedway, and you know, further, I guess the city of Indianapolis has plans, I guess, for the Eden Creek trail. That there's parts of it up by Eden Creek Park, but that's supposed to get extended south and would eventually connect right to the B&O as well. So the connectivity that comes after we actually build this is really going to open up lots of opportunities.
Yeah, it definitely will. So it's always exciting to see that, and you know, finally see some of this stuff getting built that have been planned for many, many years. So so this is great.
And Connie, I guess it's also worth adding that, especially for you as a longtime statewide bicycle advocate, that we have recently started talking to some of the folks out in Putnam County and Park County and Vermilion and the Terre Haute area. There's actually a group out there called Crossroads Trails Alliance. That's kind of a West Central Indiana group. And so we've been starting to join their meetings, and we've been having some talks with particularly some of the folks in Putnam County about extending the B&O Trail into Putnam County. And so, it's been on our maps as a future thing for a long time, but we've never really had any concrete action going on out there. And now we are starting to get some of that happening. And so I'm excited about the possibility over the next, say, 5 years of what could happen with extending the trail much farther west.
That's great news. And I know that the B&O, one of the long-term goals was to make it all the way to the state line. And so getting through some of these counties would be great. Yes, I don't have any questions. Anything else that either one of you want to add?
I can't think of anything else. I appreciate your having us.
Yes, thank you for this opportunity to talk about the B&O Trail and about our event.
Oh, well, you're welcome. And I hope people come out to the event. Hope you have wonderful weather and everybody comes out and then enjoys the trail with the new part and the part that's already been done. So thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you. Keep bicycling.
All right.